August 1945. Two Japanese cities, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, vanished in blinding fire. In an instant, the age of nuclear warfare began, and the deadliest war in human history finally came to an end. But the story of World War II did not begin with the mushroom cloud. It began decades earlier, in the ruins of a previous conflict, in the anger of broken nations. And in the ambitions of men who believed they could bend the world to their will. This is not just a history lesson. It is the story of humanity's darkest hour and its fight for survival. And here on Historic Current, we don't just tell stories of the past. We relive them, so that every moment, every battle, every decision comes alive. Stay with us, because what you're about to witness is the complete history of World War II. A journey that will change the way you see the world. The First World War was supposed to be the war to end all wars. Instead, it left behind bitterness and instability. The Treaty of Versailles crippled Germany with heavy reparations, stripping land, colonies, and pride. Across Europe, economies collapsed and extremist politics thrived. From this turmoil rose Adolf Hitler. A failed artist turned soldier, Hitler tapped into Germany's anger, promising revenge and rebirth. By 1933, he was chancellor. By 1934, he was Fuhrer. The swastika became the symbol of a new, dangerous Germany. Meanwhile, in Italy, Benito Mussolini transformed a fragile democracy into a fascist dictatorship, promising a return to Roman glory. In Asia, Japan sought empire, invading Manchuria in 1931, and later unleashing brutality across China. The world stood by, hoping these aggressions would pass.
I used to repeat, if at first you don't succeed, try again. That's what I'm doing.
Instead, they were just the beginning. September 1st, 1939. German forces stormed into Poland. This time, the world could not look away. Britain and France declared war. World War II had begun. Germany unleashed Blitzkrieg, Lightning War. Tanks, aircraft, and troops moved with terrifying speed. Overwhelming nations in days. Poland collapsed. Denmark, Norway, Belgium, and the Netherlands fell in quick succession. By June 1940, even mighty France was defeated. Hitler's armies marched through Paris, and Britain stood alone. The Battle of Britain followed, the first major air war in history. German bombers pounded British cities. But the Royal Air Force fought back. Against the odds, Britain held firm. Proving that Hitler's war machine was not unstoppable. Hitler's ambitions stretched further east. In 1941, he launched Operation Barbarossa. The largest invasion in human history against the Soviet Union. Three million German soldiers crossed the border. Seeking to crush communism and seize vast resources. At first, the Wehrmacht advanced quickly, reaching the gates of Moscow. But the Soviet Union would not fall easily. The winter of 1941 and fierce resistance turned the tide. The siege of Leningrad began, lasting nearly 900 days, starving millions. Meanwhile, in North Africa, Axis and Allied armies clashed across deserts. General Erwin Rommel, the Desert Fox, pushed British forces to the brink. But new leadership and reinforcements shifted the balance. By late 1942, the war was spreading to every corner of the globe. December 7, 1941. Japan launched a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor. Battleships burned, planes were destroyed, and over 2,000 Americans were killed. The United States, once reluctant, now entered the war. Japan's empire expanded rapidly, capturing the Philippines, Malaya, and much of Southeast Asia. But the tide began to shift at the Battle of Midway in 1942. where American carriers dealt Japan a crushing blow. From then on, the Pacific War became a brutal island-hopping campaign. Guadalcanal, Iwo Jima, Okinawa, each battle bloodier than the last. By 1943, the Axis powers were on the defensive. At Stalingrad, the Red Army surrounded and destroyed an entire German army, marking the turning point of the Eastern Front. In North Africa, the Allies triumphed at El Alamein and pushed Axis forces out. Soon, they invaded Italy, toppling Mussolini. Then came June 6, 1944, D-Day. Allied troops stormed the beaches of Normandy in the largest amphibious invasion in history. France was liberated within months, and Germany's collapse was only a matter of time. Behind the front lines, darker horrors unfolded. Carried out the Holocaust, the systematic murder of 6 million Jews, along with millions of others deemed undesirable. Romani, political prisoners, and the disabled. Concentration camps like Auschwitz, Treblinka, and Dachau became symbols of unimaginable cruelty. In Asia, Japan's occupation was equally brutal. In Nanjing, hundreds of thousands were massacred. At Unit 731, prisoners were subjected to horrific medical experiments. These crimes against humanity would leave scars that never fade. By 1945, the end was near. Soviet troops closed in on Berlin. Hitler, refusing to face defeat, took his own life in his bunker on April 30th. Germany surrendered days later. But in the Pacific, the war raged on. Japan refused unconditional surrender, preparing for a final defense. States, seeking to avoid a costly invasion, turned to a new weapon, the atomic bomb. On August 6th, Hiroshima was destroyed. On August 9th, Nagasaki suffered the same fate. Over 100,000 civilians were killed in moments. On August 15th, Japan surrendered. World War II was finally over. World War II left more than 70 million dead. It redrew borders. Birthed the Cold War, and set the stage for the modern world. It showed humanity's capacity for courage and sacrifice. but also for cruelty and destruction. The story of the Second World War is not just history. It is a warning. A reminder of what happens when ambition, hatred, and silence allow darkness to rise. Thank you for joining us on Historic Current. If this journey moved you, subscribe for more deep dives into history's defining moments. Because to understand today, we must never forget yesterday.